Hello, this is Bwana from Bwana.tv, and today I want to answer a question from my inbox. This comes from Cameron. Cameron wants to know, a very good question. Cameron says, hey Bwana, you said recently that you can build a Mac. I did, didn't I? And he said, could you please tell me where I could buy the parts or buy a box with the parts inside? Thank you, Cameron. Sorry I don't have a Twitter account. So what Cameron did is that he emailed me at bwana@bwana.org, but you can also email me at help@bwana.tv if you're not at all into the Twitter thing. Don't send me YouTube messages. I hate checking YouTube messages. Please don't send me YouTube messages. I prefer email and the Twitter hashtag. So the answer is, the website I'm going to refer to is actually macsales.com. Macsales.com, which is otherwise known as Otherworld Computing. What they offer is not what you're probably thinking. First, let me discuss some terminology here. If you're used to building PCs, you're probably used to the terminology motherboard, CPU, memory. On the Mac platform, on the older PowerPC platform, they were called logic boards. They're also called CPUs and memory, but it was a logic board on the PowerPC versus a motherboard on the Intel IBM compatible platforms. So when you go to macsales.com, you'll find there's a section called G3 and G4 upgrades. This was mainly the section I was talking about in that video. These are for people who own very old G4s or very old G3s and they want to upgrade the processor or the logic board. What I'm seeing now is that Macsales doesn't offer logic boards anymore. You probably have to find those on eBay or somewhere similar. So in the last video I talked about how unintuitive it was and how hard it was to buy things and buy parts and build a Mac from scratch. Yeah, this is part of the issue. The things that you can mostly find are for the older G3 and G4 stuff. If you want to build a newer Mac, most of those are Intel parts. So that's along the lines of Hackintosh. So if you want to build a custom Mac from scratch, you're basically now talking about building a Hackintosh. And there's tons of stuff on the internet about that. I don't really condone Hackintosh just because it officially goes against the EULA, but that's what you're talking about when you're talking about building a custom PC with Intel parts and hacking the OS to get on there. With these systems, it was a little bit less complicated. You would buy these G4 and these G3 modules, and you didn't have to really do a whole lot software-wise. It would just increase and bump up the CPU and processor, and the logic boards were proprietary, so you really didn't have to work around Intel's stuff. One thing I want to let you know is that it's going to be very hard to build a Mac from scratch from this site. It's almost literally impossible. The route I would take if you want to do this, and I don't recommend you do it. Let me just give you an example. If you want to do this, if you somehow found an old G4, G3 that you want to upgrade the processor to a 1.8 gigahertz processor, let's see how much it costs. In order to upgrade to a 1.6 gigahertz processor upgrade for an AGP-based Macintosh system, it's going to cost you $250. $250. So it's not practical, it's not realistic, and you might as well buy a new Mac for that price. You're halfway towards a Mac Mini. So building a Mac is not, like I said in the last video, you can do it, but it's not as intuitive, and I should have added it's impractical because it usually costs more than getting a brand new Mac. That's one of the arguments people make about PC versus Mac, and I don't want to get into that, but people say you can build a PC, you can't build a Mac, and that's true. You can't. You can, but you can't, if you understand what I'm saying. You'll do it, but you'll end up spending more than a new computer. So the site is macsales.com. You can also search eBay for logic boards and old Mac parts. For the most part, it's your typical PC. But remember, the G4 and G3 stuff is logic board and Intel is motherboard. So I hope I answered your question, Cameron. It's probably not going to make you want to go buy and build a Mac, but that's the truth of the matter. Alright, this is Bwana from Bwana.tv. If you guys got any suggestions, if I'm wrong, if you see a site, you know of a site that you can build a Mac, legitimately, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know by email, and I'll correct it. I'll annotate the video, whatever I need to do. All right, everybody, take care.